President Donald Trump said Thursday he will meet again with Russia's Vladimir Putin in an effort to end the war in Ukraine. A date has not been set, but Trump wrote on social media that the meeting would take place in Budapest, Hungary. "I believe great progress was made with today's telephone conversation," Trump wrote after talking to Putin. They previously met in Alaska in August, which did not produce a diplomatic breakthrough. According to Associated Press, before Trump and Putin meet, U.S. officials led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio will sit down with Russian representatives next week. It's unclear where that meeting will take place. The call came ahead of Trump's meeting on Friday at the White House with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who has been pressing Trump to sell Kiev Tomahawk missiles that would allow Ukrainian forces to strike deeper into Russian territory. Zelensky has argued such strikes would help compel Putin to take Trump's calls for direct negotiations between Russia and Ukraine to end the war more seriously. President Donald Trump said Wednesday that Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi personally assured him that his country would stop buying Russian oil. According to Associated Press, the change, which has not been confirmed by the Indian government, would boost Trump's efforts to pressure Moscow to negotiate an end to the war in Ukraine. "There will be no oil. He's not buying oil," Trump said. "The change won't take immediately," he said, "but within a short period of time." The Indian embassy in Washington did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Trump has been frustrated by his inability to force an end to the war in Ukraine, which began with Russia's invasion almost 4 years ago. "If India doesn't buy oil, it makes it much easier," Trump said to reporters. He's expressed dissatisfaction with Russian President Vladimir Putin, whom he increasingly describes as the primary obstacle to a resolution, and he's scheduled to meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Friday. India is the second biggest purchaser of Russian oil, after China, and Trump punished India with higher tariffs in August. Trump also talked about Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's scheduled visit to the White House on Friday. He said Ukraine would like to go offensive, and added, "I'll make a determination on that." Zelensky has been pushing for the U.S. to supply Ukraine with long-range Tomahawk missiles, which could allow Ukraine to strike targets deep inside Russia, including Moscow, accurately and with large warheads. While Zelensky is widely expected to request Trump's go-ahead for the Tomahawks while at the White House, Washington has hesitated over such a move out of concern that it could escalate the war and deepen tensions between the United States and Russia. However, Trump on Sunday warned Russia that he may send Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine if Moscow doesn't end its war there soon, possibly using that threat to increase the pressure on Russian President Vladimir Putin to compromise.
Mr. President, thank you so much.
Thank you.
In light of China's export curbs on rare earths, do you view India as a reliable partner going forward? And are you planning to meet Prime Minister Modi in Malaysia? Are you open to talks?
Yeah, sure. He's a friend of mine. We have a great relationship. He just said that 2 days ago, as you know. We have a great relationship. No, we were not happy with him buying oil from Russia, because that lets Russia continue on with this ridiculous war where they've lost 1.5 million people, by the way. Russia's lost 1.5 million people, soldiers mostly. This is a war that should have never started, but it's a war that Russia should have won in the first week, and they're going into the 4th year. And I want to see it stop. So I was not happy that India was buying oil. And he assured me today that they will not be buying oil from Russia. That's a big stop. Now I got to get China to do the same thing. You know, that is relatively easy compared to what we just did over the last week in the Middle East. Middle East was 3,000 years, and we got it done. This is 3 years, and I think we'll get it done. I think that President Putin, I think he wants to get it done. We'll see. There's a great animosity between him and Zelensky. You probably have noticed, right? And it's, I think it's hurting the process. Yeah, please.
Sir, you're going to have Volodymyr Zelensky here this week. What is your message at this stage of the war for him? And shy of Tomahawks,
to who is it?
For Zelensky.
Yeah.
Shy of Tomahawks for Ukraine, are you considering other options, and will you speak with Vladimir Putin?
No, we're looking at other options. We are. President Zelensky's coming in. I'm not a fan of the war. I'm not a fan of the way it started. It should have never happened. It wouldn't have started if I were president. No, we'll be talking about the war with him, and we'll be talking about, I mean, they want to go offensive. I'll make a determination on that, but they would like to go offensive, you know that, and we'll have to make a determination.
So, Sergio Gore has just gotten back from India. What were the conversations like with Prime Minister Modi? And
I think they were great. He reported to me that he's a great man, you know. Modi is a great man. That he loves Trump. Now, I don't know if the word love, I don't want you to take that any different. I don't want to destroy his political career, okay? But you have to understand, I've watched India for years. It's an incredible country. And every single year you'd have a new leader. I mean, some would be in there for a few months. And this was year after year after year. And my friend has been there now for a long time. And he's assured me there will be no oil purchased from Russia. I don't know, maybe that's a breaking story. Can I say that? Would you say? There will be no oil. He's not buying his oil from Russia. It started. You know, you can't do it immediately. It's a little bit of a process. But the process is going to be over with soon. And all we want from President Putin is stop this. Stop killing Ukrainians and stop killing Russians, because he's killing a lot of Russians. Again, it doesn't make him look good. It's a war that he should have won in 1 week, and he's now going into his 4th year. That does not make this big so-called war machine look good. But he could make a settlement. We're willing to settle. I thought we had a deal. The hatred of the two leaders is very, you know, it's an obstacle. It's an obstacle. There's no question about it. But I thought we had a deal 2 months ago. Who would think I created peace in the Middle East and can't get the two guys to settle? But I think we'll get them. But if India doesn't buy oil, it makes it much easier. And they're not going to buy. They assured me they will. Within a short period of time, they will not be buying oil from Russia. And they'll go back to Russia after the war's over.
The Russian army is making efforts to completely capture the Donetsk region. In October, the enemy actively used heavy armored vehicles, and Donbass remains a priority for the occupiers. Alexander Musienko, a serviceman with the troops of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, spoke about this on Channel 24, noting that the Russians have made minor tactical advances, which Ukrainian defenders are successfully blocking. The Dobropilya operation began quite ambitiously for the Russian occupiers. The enemy planned to achieve a breakthrough and achieve operational success, not just a tactical one, which, although they did achieve, later turned into a trap. Musienko explained. According to him, the enemy was attempting to break through to the rear of the Ukrainian group in order to create problems in certain areas of the front and demonstrate their success on the battlefield. Now, as the soldier noted, the Dobropilya sector has become a trap for the Russians. He's now deploying significant forces trying to unblock a group that's logistically cut off from its main forces and assets. As a result, he's constantly bringing in reserves, and we're destroying them in large numbers. The Russians are trapped, Musienko emphasized. The military added that the occupiers are forced to expend significant resources, not on exploiting operational success, but on attempts to free their own troops, who are semi-encircled with their logistics disrupted. As for Donetsk Oblast in general, it's clear that this area will continue to be a priority for the enemy. It will be a focus of particular attention and interest, because the Russian army hasn't abandoned its plans to finally seize the Donetsk Oblast. Active combat operations will continue there, Musienko noted. He concluded that the Ukrainian Defense Forces are actively defending themselves and, when possible, counter-attacking to push back the enemy and liberate Ukrainian territories. As reported, Commander-in-Chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, Alexander Syrsky, emphasized that current combat realities have significantly changed conditions on the battlefield. The death zone on the front line currently extends to 10 kilometers and directly impacts the safety of Ukrainian troops. According to Syrsky, attack drones are becoming a key factor determining the situation on the battlefield. They complicate the rapid evacuation of the wounded, making efficient logistics and the ability of military medicine to quickly respond to threats particularly important. We must view the war through the lens of the needs of the Ukrainian infantryman and protect his life and health. I emphasized this during the monthly working meeting on medical support for the Ukrainian armed forces, the Commander-in-Chief noted, emphasizing the priority of preserving soldiers' lives in the new combat conditions.